Recording in progress.
All right, we're going to start. Thanks for coming. So the first thing first, okay? Do not trust me, please. So please keep in this loop, okay? Keep seeking, okay? To me, you guys are seekers, okay? Explore. If today's talk, resonate with you at all, right? Explore it, right? Experience it, try it, reflect on it, and cultivate it, and keep seeking until you truly, truly feel you have the essence of, whatever we're sharing, okay? And please do not trust me, okay? We can only treat based on our own cultivation level, okay? So it's very, very important we get into that loop as soon as possible. If you trust me, you're going to try to copy me, it will not work. Okay. All right. So the topic is male health. Okay. So to me, it involves energy, function, mindfulness. Involves a sense of balance, physically, right? We're nimble, we're flexible. In our heart, we have this sense of purpose. It's like no matter what condition we're in, we have this beautiful sense of purpose. I often say, it's like I have a purpose. It's not a question. It's like, what's my purpose? No, I have a purpose. I don't need to know what my purpose is, but I have a purpose. To me, that's very, very important. We might be the smallest blade of grass in the giant forest, but we have a purpose. Okay, stop comparing ourselves against anybody else. Because otherwise we have liver-chi stagnation. Okay. And ultimately, male health or anybody's health is about being able to love and be loved. So ultimately, if we focus on a physical well-being, we're guaranteed to fail. Okay. The only thing I can guarantee to my patients is if you're going to see me, you're going to die at some point. Okay, that is guaranteed. So the question to me is like, how can we live a life that's worth living? We can love and be loved. We can be truly loving. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so there are two photos on the left. You see somebody who has a Ren channel, somebody who has a good health, okay? What do you look first? You look into the eyes, okay? You look into their spine, okay? You see if their feet are like crooked or tight or anything like that. It means they don't feel safe, okay? So it's a sense of thriving versus surviving, okay? Are we thriving, no matter our condition, right? And what does that involve? That involves the Ren channel, involves the Du channel, okay? And when it's needed, we have all these beautiful functions. We have balance, we have flexibility, we have strength, we have a sense of purpose, and we'll be able to create. We're naturally curious. We'll continue to be creative regardless of our age and condition. Okay. So to me, these are the driver, okay? These are the driver for male health, okay? If as a male, I am depressed, right? I feel like I'm surviving all the time. Am I going to be a good, healthy male? No, I am not going to. Okay. So we're going back to something that's very, very basic, like liver-chi stagnation, that puts a blockage right on the chest. Okay. So if you follow that arrow, the liver-chi stagnation caused the pericardium channel to get blocked right at our chest. So if you find your PC1 and you press on it, if you feel pain, you have liver-chi stagnation, okay? If you feel more pain on the left, that means you have it's mostly an emotional origin. If you push and it's more painful on the right, you probably have more like a logical kind of probably a very, very logical person. Everything has to be just right, so you have more stagnation on your right side. A very common thing that I see in the clinic for male, female as well actually, is the sense of righteousness. Okay, it's like I'm so responsible, I'm so caring, I'm so loving, I'm so this, and this is what I got. Okay, the world is not just my family is not, my kids is not, my parents are not, my friends, my boss, and right? Whenever we have the sense of righteousness, the spleen channel that needs to go, go through basically our ribs, okay? Actually, this arrow is not in the right place. But anyway, this arrow should point to the lower ribs, basically around the floating ribs. That's when spleen channel actually goes up into the heart channel. Okay? So when we're righteous, the first thing we need to shut down is our heart. When we're righteous, we cannot be kind. When we're righteous, we cannot say, "Oh, you're so cute." It doesn't work that way. Okay? So the spleen channel will get blocked right at the 11th rib or something like that. And channels, when it gets blocked, it overflows. Okay, it's like the river. You put a giant boulder there, it's going to flood into adjacent areas. Okay, and when the spleen channel get blocked over there, guess what? Okay, it overflows to the stomach channel. It overflows into the liver channel. It overflows into the gallbladder channel. It causes all kinds of problems. Okay, and all has something to do with what? Being righteous, the sense of injustice. Okay, yeah. And if we don't have the sense of hope, if we feel like we cannot be creative or curious or anything like that, our yin channel and our du channel automatically goes down. Okay, if we feel like we have to compare against somebody else, if we're here studying Chinese medicine and I need another 30 years to be like those people that we regard so highly, then we feel small. Then our yin channel and our du channel are not coming up. Okay, that's a huge, huge problem. When it comes to depression, right? The sense of lack of drive, passion. When we stop being curious, we're not creating anymore. And life is, we're back to that survival mode, right? It's not fun anymore, right? And then if we have depletion, which in male health is a big issue because man ejaculates, okay? And if we get into that depletion loop, then all of a sudden the yin channel doesn't even come up to our belly button, okay? Because we're so deficient. And when we're deficient that way, we naturally will actually find something to boost, right? To stimulate us so the yin channel will go, right? So I'll talk more about that in the addiction section, okay? And finally, it's our posture, right? And, any potential injuries, for example, ankle sprain or, knee replacements or whatnot, right? But in general, if you look at a person, if the head goes forward, shoulder comes in, it's almost guaranteed this person is going to have knee problems. Because every step you take, you're going to put so much more weight on the knees, okay? And when we lean forward, our ankle has to be stiff. Okay, so then the impact of the ground will have to travel up, travel to the knee, travel to the pelvis, right? So male health, the first thing I do in the clinic is actually posture. We get a person to be standing in front of a full-size mirror, right, and start walking in place. That's simple. Okay, just start walking in place. Eyes level, look into one's own eyes, and just start walking. Right? Are you balanced? Are you shifting like this? Right? Or are you one-sided? Right? Is your shoulder one up, one down? Okay? There's a lot of these things that can, from a connection standpoint, we can tell right away. Okay? And when a person's posture starts to change, anytime, actually we can try this. If we stand up and our head goes like this, okay? There's so many, our UB channel tightens up, our gallbladder channel will tighten up, okay? When the channel tightens up, originally it's a qi blockage and it becomes a blood, stasis, right? And that becomes a muscle tightness. And muscle tightness creates so much resistance to our circulation system. And guess what? Our blood pressure is going to get high, right? Circulation is going to be poor, right? And all kinds of, and then the dampness will automatically happen because things are not flowing properly, right? And guess what? We can all trace this back to this head is forward. To me, that's empowering, okay? when a person comes in, a male comes in and says, I'm so deficient, I can't even this and this, right? And your posture is like this, change this first. Do not needle first. Do not find these whatever points and say, okay, we're going to tonify your kidney. Forget about it. It's not going to work. Okay? And that's why this person will keep coming back. Okay? We change the posture, we start to get the person involved. Do not try to help this person. Get this person to feel empowered enough to do it himself. Okay? That to me is the ultimate treatment. It's not to treat a person, but to get the person to feel like himself again, to have the sense of hope, creativity, right? He can, self-healing without depletion, right? Liver qi stagnation start to go away. The sense of righteousness start to go down, right? And all your functions, all your channels start to move, and all of a sudden it's a completely different person, right? We have Mr. Perez, coming in 4 weeks ago, right? He came in the first week, the second week he came in, a completely different person. 1 week, you have a new person, okay? Okay. When a person's Ren channel and Du channel goes down, for example, due to heavy responsibility, expectations are not met and right? The sense that I am small or I try so hard and it's not going anywhere, right? I am depressed. Ren channel and Du channel automatically goes down, okay? So we start to say, okay, I don't feel well, I can't really breathe. My Ren channel goes way down here. I can't really breathe. I can't really eat, okay? I have no appetite. I have no passion. I can't. I know I'm supposed to love my wife and kids and my parents and but I can't. I can have these behaviors. I can go through the motion, but I don't feel it. Okay? So the sense that's exactly how it works. Okay? Ren channel, depressed Ren channel, get us to do what we're supposed to do, but we cannot feel it. Okay? This happens with male, it happens with females, with C-section, for example, or episiotomy, for example. Okay, then the Ren channel automatically goes down because of physical blockage, and all of a sudden they know they're supposed to love their kids, they retook their kids every day, they play with them, but they don't feel the joy. Okay, until the blockage gets removed, actually got calls from teary calls from moms and say, John, I felt it. So Ren channel flow is so important. In male, because we tend to suppress, because we especially responsible males, right? We know our Ren channel and Du channel are not going well, but we don't have anybody to tell. We don't express, right? We'll continue to be in that survival mode, but we also want our Ren channel and Du channel to come up, right? So we may get into addicted behaviors. We may want to stimulate ourselves so our Ren channel and Du channels are coming up. I hope everybody is over 21, okay? One of the biggest addiction is porn, okay? You turn on the computer, you go someplace, and then all of a sudden you have these stimulation, and all of a sudden your Ren channel and your Du channels are coming up. Naturally. Very, very naturally. And if you do that, please don't feel shameful. Okay, and if we know a person that's doing that, please don't judge them because they are actually trying to fix themselves. They're seeking treatment for their condition. That's actually the quickest condition or quickest treatment because once they get stimulated, the energy goes through the midbrain, dopamine is generated, they get rewarded. Okay, that's what the addictive behaviors are going on all the time, right? And most likely, when they go into this addiction or this stimulation, right, they eventually ejaculate, which goes into depletion. And then their Ren channel and the Du channel are even weaker. And guess what? They need more stimulation. They go into more addiction. So they stay, then we stay in that loop, right? You Ren channel, Du channel goes down, you go into the stimulation, then you deplete yourself, then you have to go through this loop over and over again, okay? Our job, if we do it right, is to say, please stimulate yourself, okay? Because that's part of the treatment, okay? I don't encourage people to watch porn. I don't encourage people to do things, but you can do things that will automatically up your rin channel and du channel. For example, if you balance yourself, okay? If you do 10 push-ups, rest a little while, and do another 10, okay? Or if you engage in sexual activity in a healing sense, and you don't ejaculate, then you start to replete yourself. You start to tonify yourself. So then you go into this positive up spiral. Right? And all of a sudden, you don't need addiction anymore. You don't need this extra stimulation to get your rin channel and du channel up because it's already up. You know, the dopamine release, it becomes constant instead of like, oh my goodness, I have no dopamine. I don't feel hope, right? I feel so down and I have no energy. And I need this, you know, dopamine boost. You don't need that anymore because it's constantly running. That's what rin channel and du channel are supposed to do, especially du channel. Okay, du channel goes from basically du one or ren one, however you want to say it, you know, goes in between our spine and our skin, goes into the midbrain right around, right around the base of the neck, basically, okay, energize our midbrain, come out of yin tang. The stuff we learn in school that goes into the top of the head, that's a sleep mode. When we sleep, yes, the du channel goes through the top of the head, okay, but during the day, it doesn't. And the best way to energize our du channel is to love. To feel the sense that I am connecting right now to loving kindness. Okay? I'm connecting to loving kindness, and through loving kindness, I'm connecting to all the people that I've ever known. Connecting to their heart of gold. Okay? When we do that, we confirm ourselves. I have a purpose. I mean something. Okay? No matter what I have done, right? As a male, as a dad, you know, it's very difficult to say, you know what? I've never done anything wrong to hurt my kids. Okay? Some people goes into this regression, the sense of regret, right? Oh gosh, you know, I wish I could have, you know, taken these back. Don't just wish. Connect to your kids through loving kindness. Right now. Energize ourselves. Okay? The way is not to say, I'm so sorry, but to thrive. Make a shining example out of everyone that we know is like, you know what? I was so down. I was so messed up. I was so. But you know what? Today, I'm thriving. And anybody can do this too. Okay. So as a male, female too, we may have what's so-called midlife crisis. Okay. Midlife crisis, in my opinion, or in my experience, everything I share so far is honestly my first-hand experience. Okay? Midlife crisis is a prolonged, chronic, suppression of rin channel and du channel with liver qi stagnation and spleen qi blockage. Okay? People with those conditions, they feel very strongly this midlife crisis. They want to break this out. They want fast cars, extramarital affairs and travel to different places and try different things, jump off airplanes and whatever it takes to feel this adrenaline flow, okay? To get their rin channel, to feel this liver. They want to feel alive. That's what it is, right? So it's really not a midlife crisis. It's really a midlife energy surge. Okay? It's like we go into the ocean and we got this big, giant, beautiful wave that people can surf, or this wave can knock people down and they will never be seen again. Okay? It's the same thing. Okay? So when we feel the surge, between the age of 40 to 60, probably somewhere around there, right? Instead of chasing speed, extramarital affairs, another person that will satisfy our every needs and wants and everything else, or find new things, right? Go inside. Instead of going outside, go inside. Right? Can I do something that improve my balance? Okay. How can I be more creative? What can I do to feel the sense of thriving? How can I go inside? I want to know myself better. I want to feel this energy, right? So when you go inside, you start to, when we really go inside and feel that surge, we start to ride this wave. And this wave doesn't stop, actually. Because as you ride this wave, you just feel like, oh my goodness, I can feel this wave and I can continue to ride this wave. Okay? This is really, honestly, this is really what this, this presentation is about. Is I really want to share with you my first-hand experience. It's like, a lot of these terms dictates how we view this. We got this midlife crisis. I got this addiction, right? And all of a sudden we see ourselves differently, right? We look down upon ourselves, right? Please know all these things are, our sense of energy flow, our sense of channel flow, prolonged blockage that we are trying to break out, okay? Feel the surge, ride the wave. So for male health, I have basically two sections. Okay, one is, how can we change our perspective? If our perspective of this world is the world is not safe, it's not just, right? People are always trying to get me, right? You cannot, you have to protect yourself all the time. You cannot make mistakes. You have to meet expectations, right? We have to change that. Because if we have that mindset, we don't feel safe. If we don't feel safe, we automatically have liver qi stagnation. Our ren channel and du channel automatically goes down. Okay? And our sense of righteousness disable our, basically block our spleen channel. So it will attack our stomach, it will attack our liver, right? So we don't, and guess what? If we don't, liver qi stagnation, liver joins what? Liver joins lung, right? If we don't breathe well, we don't have kidney qi. Our kidneys will be very, very weak. It's really that simple. I actually resolved a few stage 4 or stage 3 kidney diseases. Okay, if you ask me how did I do it, you ask me like, John, you know how to treat kidney issues? I would say absolutely not. I do not know how to treat kidney issues. Okay, I know all these points, but I don't trust them. Okay, because I know it's not a kidney issue. The same thing with liver qi stagnation is not a liver issue. It's a blockage. Where is the blockage? Okay? Kidney issues has so much to do with liver qi stagnation because when we stop breathing properly, okay, when we don't have this diaphragm going up and down, our heart has to work so hard, right? Our liver has to work so hard, our kidney has to work so hard. The only organ that we can change right now is our lungs. We cannot say, I'm going to improve my heart right away. I can't improve my liver right away, but I can improve my lungs right away. How do we do that? Okay? It's to get our ren channel and du channel flowing again. By doing what? By doing these 4 things. Unconditional love. There is unconditional love. I trust there is unconditional love. Don't ever give up the perception that there is unconditional love. If we are not in the midst of unconditional love, feel the sense that I can choose to love unconditionally. Why? Because we have a choice. And I have a heart of gold. No matter how traumatized I feel I was, or how many people I have traumatized, we all have a heart of gold. Okay? Maybe not in our parents' eyes, not in our family's eyes, not in our spouse's eyes, not in our parents' eyes, not in our boss's eyes, but in somebody's eyes, or at least we need to have in our own eyes that we have a heart of gold. Okay? And again, we always have a purpose, no matter our condition. If I'm stage 4 cancer, I have a purpose. Okay? My cancer patients will come in and say, John, as long as this is over, I will fulfill my purpose. I say, well, you have a purpose right now. Right now. It's not like because you're in stage 4 cancer, you have no purpose. No, you have a purpose right now. I honestly have patients, telling me like, John, you know what? When I see you, doctor said I got 3 months to live. Okay, 6 months later, he said, now I really don't care how long I can live because I am living right now. Because he's connecting, he's loving, and his families the dynamics are completely different. Okay. So in addition to these four things, right, as a male or female, in my mind, is stop helping people. When we use the word help, okay, we automatically put ourselves in a position to, when we help another person, it's like, hey, here's a string. Take this string. And this person can pull us anytime he wants. Okay? If we cook a dinner for our family, we're at the mercy of our family to say, this is too salty. Can you learn how to cook? But if we're doing this for ourselves, okay, I enjoy my time cooking and I connect to my family, without condition. So when I have this meal and I say, hey, Dad, you know what? I have, things to do already. I already, last second, whatever, right? See you later. We will still be a lighthouse. We will not be a candle in the wind and say, oh my goodness, all my, efforts are going down the drain. You guys do not appreciate me. You see that? Unnecessary stuff, okay? We're going to be doing exactly the same thing, but stop helping. Stop feeling like I'm doing this for somebody. We're doing this for the family. If I don't have this family, I'll be doing something else. We're just setting ourselves up for big time trouble, okay? So in this graph, it's like, okay, love hurts when it's conditional. I went through 2 years of severe depression. Okay, everything I share, honestly, it's my gift of depression. So when people come in and say, John, I want to kill myself, I say, oh, good for you, right? Why? Because you're at a point where you need to change. Congratulations, right? Killing yourself is one of the choices. Do you have other choices? Then I say, you must love a lot. You must have very, very deep love for something. And they will say, yeah, I do. But it doesn't work. People, I just feel this rejection everywhere, every time. I cannot, I have no choice now. The only choice I have is to end my life. I say, can you please? Well, if you want to, it's your choice. You can kill yourself right now. So the thing that really changed me was one day I woke up and I realized, not from a left and right brain, kind of it's such a clarity from my heart. It's like I never ever love, ever. I've never loved anybody unconditionally, ever. Not my wife, not my kids, not my parents, not anybody, not myself for sure. Everything I do, I have a purpose. I want something in return. There's a condition. For that 2 years, for example, I will go home and I will say hello to my kids. They will basically say, Dad, get off my face. Okay? And I got so miserable, right? I was drinking, I was doing, stupid things, right? Until I realized, hey, if I truly love my kids, and they say, hey, Dad, you're the worst person in the world, why would I get affected? So obviously my love for them has condition, right? If I say, how are you? They should say, I'm fine. Not like, hey, F off, right? And if I get affected, that means I'm still a candle in the wind. I'm still loving my kids conditionally. And you know what? That gives me endless amount of power. I'm fully empowered after that point, because if something bothers me, I can change it. Okay. So in my clinic, right, people come in, want to kill themselves, they leave with a different mindset. You can definitely kill yourself, absolutely. But you can do something else too. Okay? So we can either be a candle in the wind or a lighthouse. Okay. So when a male, female alike, okay? When a male, for example, a dad in the house, go into the bathroom, look at himself in the mirror, in the eyes, and say, you know what? From this point on, I am going to be a lighthouse. And he starts to change. He begins to change. Okay? There's still going to be oscillations, bumps, and stuff like that. That's beautiful. But you start to have a direction that you know resonate with your heart. Okay? To me, that's a true male health, okay, or anybody's health. Okay? And then what we're going to do is our action is going to be aligned with our intentions. Okay? You know, if my intention is to go home safely and I get into this road rage because this idiot cuts me off, hey, I catch myself, right? My intention is to go home safely. My action is not aligned with my intention, right? If my kid does something again, the 30th time, and I'm on the verge of beating this kid or yelling at this kid, I catch myself and say, wait a minute, my intention is to love my child, is to bridge the gap, no matter what. What am I doing? So action in line with our intention. For male, it's super important. For PTSD patients, especially veterans, this action, so basically it's like, okay, you have a mission. Your mission is your intention. Is your actions going to achieve that mission? Okay, it becomes very easy for them to say, oh, right? So their road rage changed dramatically. Because otherwise, every time they get home, they get home at the end of a road rage, like every day. Okay. And when we start to do that, we start to be curious, we start to have fun, we start to create. Okay. And what does that mean? That means our REM channel and our DO channel and our midbrains are back online. Because otherwise we cannot be curious. Okay. And physically, we're going to start to maintain our bucket. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, so instead of saying, "Oh, I need a good posture," you know, so I used to take, you know, wedding photography. Okay, shoot weddings, and when I ever point a camera, they would go. I said, "That's the worst posture in the world." Okay, you're gonna look like, you know, very, very uncomfortable in the photos, right? So the key thing is a bucket. Okay, a bucket starts from REM 1. REM 1 is the bottom of our bucket. Then we have our pelvis, right? Then we have our entire core, okay? Not just the 6 packs that we all have, right? But around the entire core, okay? So that's our bucket, okay? When we sit, maintain level of our bucket. When we walk, maintain the levelness of our bucket, okay? Then we'll naturally have a good posture. That will be our most comfortable, most relaxed posture. In that posture, our muscles are not impeding our channel flow. Our REM channel and our DO channel can naturally come up. Okay. When we improve our posture, we begin to breathe. If my neck is like this, I'm in sympathetic mode. In sympathetic mode, I'm not supposed to be able to breathe naturally, not be able to digest properly. My circulation are not supposed to be well. Okay? My heart rate is supposed to be high. My blood sugar is supposed to be high. Okay? Can you see how these things have a domino effect with just a little change somewhere? Right? Okay. And then physically what we want to do is to do mindful things. Okay? Too many people are in the gym hurting themselves. Okay? The easiest way to hurt ourselves is through exercise. Okay? My mom was so diligent in walking a treadmill for probably 15 years, and she only stopped because she replaced both of her knees. Okay? So diligence, you know, consistency plus exercise is probably the best way to hurt people. I've treated many, many yoga teachers. They all have wrist problems. Okay? Why? Because the weight distribution is not correct. Okay? So we can all do this with a balance, right? So find balance, okay? 3, 2, 1, okay? 3 is the 3 points underneath our feet. Okay, each foot will have 3 points, a big toe, little toe, and a little bit in front of our heel. Okay, 2 is our 2 sit bones. When we sit down, our weight evenly distributed along our 2 sit bones. When we drive, are we one-sided? Okay, we have real estate agents coming to me and say, John, you know what, my spine is crooked and right? And after, if she sees me Monday, it's horrible because over the weekend she was driving the clients to see houses, right? And then, then I say, okay, can I get into your car? You drive, and I'll just sit. She drives like this. Completely put her weight on the right sit bone. The spine has to be crooked. So I put a little note, okay? So I wrote a little note. It's like, sit bones, okay? And tape it on her steering wheel. The 1 point is our run 1, okay? Do everything from our run 1, okay? If we have to walk, move run 1 first before we move our feet, okay? If I have to turn with run 1 first, and then my body turns. Get everything to come out from the center of our body, okay? When we do that, we're using our natural channel flow, okay? And see if your movement become more fluid instead of like, okay? And there's a whole bunch of yang qi movements, okay, that I'll get into, okay? It's important to notice the flow of qi versus the blood stasis, okay? Qi stagnation eventually causes blood stasis, okay? In male, we get into enlarged prostate, okay? And the normal treatment is drugs, right? My dad actually had enlarged prostate, ever since he was like 50 or something like that, maybe 40. And my prostate was actually enlarged because the urine flow wasn't complete, right? And I got dribblings and stuff like that when I was 55, okay? The easiest way to resolve prostate issues is with a glove like this, okay? Just go in there and massage the prostate, right? Improve the circulation locally first, right? Due to whatever issues, chronic sedentary, immobility of the pelvis floor, for example, we're not moving, we're not circulating across from, the pelvic area, cause prostate enlargement. It's a circulation issue, okay? So this is no different than, women have breasts and in the breast they have lumps, okay? It's a circulation issue, okay? The lymph nodes are not flowing properly, right? And it causes these little lumps within this thing. Or very similar to even or very similar to, like channels, right? If you palpate, especially along the thigh, for example, the spleen channel or the liver channel, right? If you flow through, somebody who has constant issues within the area, you find these little pebbles in there, okay? And what, the cause of it is very simple, reduced blood flow, right? No qi, right? Blood stasis. You start to have these little things in there. Yeah, thank you, Carrie. Yeah. So that's a short-term solution, right? You go in there and you massage it, right? Get the blood to flow, okay? And then flexibility, the sense of empowerment, okay? Flexibility is so important, especially the ankle mobility, okay? So these are some of the things that I do every day. Okay, I do Asian squats. Okay, Asian squats are miracles for balancing UB channel, gallbladder channel, and stomach channel. Okay, these 3 channels, because of sedentary and the invention of modern sanitary devices, we don't do this anymore. 100 years ago, 200 years ago, if we cannot do Asian squats, we can't live. Okay. We cannot go to the bathroom. Okay, there is no toilet, right? Everything is a hole in the ground. Okay. Then I do child pose. Basically you go into child pose, then you move forward into a push-up. You can do 10, 15, or 20, 3 sets or something like that. I do 20 and 3 sets, okay? And the knee sit, then go up and then slant, okay? So that's kind of what that is, okay? These are just diagrams, okay? Ideally, you come up to my clinic, okay, Wednesday morning. If you can find time, just stop by, and we'll just get into it, okay? A lot of times, you feel like you're doing something right, but you're still uncomfortable, okay? If we can work together, we point out a few things, get things to go. Again, we don't want to just blindly do exercise consistently, okay? We want to do it mindfully. We want to do it as relaxed as we can. Okay, and we want to do it in progressions. We don't want to just get there. Okay, don't push ourselves. Okay. So I want to mention this. I'll probably run out of time real quick. Okay, so there's for male health, right? There's sexual function. Okay. Sexual function essentially, we can tuina, right? We can, for example, for male, I always recommend, right? Massage your testicles, okay? Roll them, make them warm, massage them every day, okay? You go to bed before you fall asleep, you wake up before you get up bed, right? Massage your testicles, stimulate your sexual organs, okay? Be mindful of our Ren Wan, okay? Ren Wan, so in Tai Chi, right, it's like, okay, you, basically it's almost like you pull up your anal area, right, in Tai Chi, right? It's the same thing, okay? Ren Wan or Kegel, right, for women, there's a sense of Kegel, right? Those are, pelvic floors are a lot of muscles, okay? When we don't pay attention to it, when our pelvic floor muscles are weak, of course our sexual function is going to be very, very weak, okay? And with a better, when the sexual function is good, male have morning erections, right? Sometime between 5 to 7 o'clock, okay? That will be very, very common and normal, okay? When we start to lose that function, right, we know there's something we can improve, okay? And this is honestly something we can improve, okay? Reduce urine flow or like dribbling or something like that. A lack of creativity, right, curiosity, a sense of freedom, vitality, inability to truly love. All these are sexual function related. Okay, sexual function directly related to kidney, directly related to the root chakra. Okay, we don't have a root. We don't have any of these things. We're just going through life trying to survive. If there's a sexual partner and we can do sexual healing, in Taoist, there's actually a lot of sexual healing, mutual sexual healing, yin and yang practices. Okay, again, because of, all these, sense of virtue or, the shameful or whatever, right? We stop, like TCM, we don't mention this, right? Basically, sex should be avoided, right? Because if you do this excessively, you're gonna lose your whatever, right? No. Sexual healing is part of Chinese medicine, okay? So the key, again, is not to get into that depletion spiral, downward spiral, right? But using sexual healing to be unconditional, right? Too many people having, husband and wife having, sexual, sexual events, right? It's like, okay, I really don't want to do this, but this person want to do this, or it's like, okay, there's condition, right? So when we remove these conditions, the sense of shame or liability or responsibility or whatever, right? We start to liberating ourselves. And when we do that, we start to connect deeply with our sexual partner. Otherwise, it's all conditions, right? So in Dr. Sun Simiao, this is what I put right there. Okay, Dr. Sun Simiao actually have has a text called Bedroom Healing. Okay, in Chinese it's called 房中补 something. Okay, so in that text it actually mentioned if a man can be with 10 women every day for 2 years, he's going to live to 200 years or something, crazy like that. Okay. it sounds like nonsense, but the essence is we go into that, tonifying, repleting cycle instead of the depletion cycle. Okay. So when we do that, we start to basically truly embracing our sexual partner, right, and emerge, start to have this, sense of body and soul connection, right? We feel safe, and with a sense of safety, we start to reveal ourselves. We feel sexual relationship is very, very deep, right? It touches upon the sense that we don't feel safe, okay? If we don't trust our parents, honestly, we can never have a good marriage. How can we trust our partner if we don't even trust our parents? If we feel like our parents love us conditionally, are we going to trust that our sexual partner is going to love us unconditionally? Right? So part of this healing process is to really connect to our parents through loving kindness and say, Dad, you know what? I love you unconditionally from this point on. Mom, I love you unconditionally. Okay? Truly start to work on ourselves. This is internal work. Okay? Yeah. So if we want further seeking and practice, right, Sun Si Miao actually has 13 offense. Okay, so I actually put this down. Okay, 13 offense is like, okay, comb your hair often. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, smooth your UB channel and your gallbladder channel, right? Shake your head often, right, like this. What does it do? It opens up parasympathetic nerves. Okay, our parasympathetic nerves is at the bottom, and it also mobilize our spine, get our Du channel to flow properly. Wash our face like this, okay? Warm your hands and do this. What does it do? Stomach channel, small intestine channel, okay? Move your eyes, right? Drum your ears. Again, gallbladder, right? Knock your teeth, right? Move all your... So honestly, all these things, okay, circle your tummies, right? Not just your tummy, but your lower tummy, okay? Go even lower to your testicle if you're a male, okay? Get these things function properly, right? Move your waist, elevate your room one, okay? This is talk about. Elevate your room one, okay? Contract your room one to the max. Hold it for a few seconds, right? And then release it. Contract and release, contract and release. Work those muscles. Okay? It's not the bicep that's important. It's all your internal muscles that's important. Yeah. Twist your knees. Okay? Get your knees flexible. When your knees are flexible, your ankles are flexible. Okay? Warm your feet. Okay? Use your feet, the bottom of your feet to, just rub the other feet and always keep it warm. Okay? I actually bring these, hot water bottles. So winter's coming, right? Warm your feet, okay? Walk often, mindfully, okay? Yeah. And in Dr. Sun Si Miao's bedroom healing, right? 房中补益 actually says, mention like for every age group, how many days you're supposed or you can ejaculate. For 20-year-old, every 4 days you can do that, okay? For 60 years old, right? You should not ejaculate at all for the rest of your life, or if you're really healthy, every 30 days. Isn't that interesting, right? Isn't that good information? Okay, there's nothing that's off the table as far as health is concerned. Because when we feel these subjects should not be mentioned or talked about or even touched because we're going to get in trouble, that's exactly where the problems are. Okay? And that becomes liver qi stagnation, right? So I hope this, male health is really full health for everybody, okay? I hope we all get into this cultivation, first-hand experience, treatment, loop, from a practitioner standpoint, and really feel deeply about the essence of channels, okay? And lastly, may we all have the courage to be ourselves, okay? So when we study here, we have a lot of different ideas and, avenues and theories and coming at us. Okay, choose what's resonant with ourselves and be ourselves. Okay, it's so important. Okay, have the courage to be ourselves. Ultimately, that's what thriving means. Is we have the courage to thrive. Okay. All right, that will do it. 1:00. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.